It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be looking at a huge stack of new official pictures that were recently released for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. Now, we don't know whether these are all from the premiere, which I doubt. I think most likely these are coming from the first few episodes of the season, and some of these are actually pretty interesting, and they open up a lot of different possibilities in terms of where the story could go, which I absolutely am looking forward to. I'm going to get into that more when we get to those pictures, but I'm just going to go through these pictures. There's like 60 of them, so I don't want to spend too much time on every photo, but I'm going to go through them and spend some time on the ones that I think are actually pretty interesting and they reveal some information to us. So first we have this shot of a walker. Pretty cool looking walker. They've never had problems with making the zombies look fresh and interesting. So I think this is just another instance where the walker seems pretty interesting and unique. So that's pretty cool. Then we have this shot, which I think is pretty interesting. We have Negan and Daryl. They're facing each other. They are basically talking. Now, I don't know what this is about, whether there's any sort of confrontation between them or if they're just talking in a friendly manner, but this raises a lot of questions. Why is Daryl not acting in a more hot-headed way? Because that's usually what he does. Why does Negan have that expression? It's a feeling of, I don't want to say guilt, but maybe remorse to an extent, but very, very interesting. And the fact that Negan is outside of his cell also is very interesting. Not that we didn't know that he was going to be outside of his cell, but the fact that Daryl is there face to face with Negan, very, very interesting stuff. Now, this raises the possibility or hints at the possibility that we're going to see Negan and Daryl team up in the future, which I think would be absolutely cool. Then we have this shot of Magna and Yumiko. They're on the stairs at the hilltop, I believe. Then we have this shot, which we've seen before. They did release this a couple of days ago, but we have this shot of the survivors at Oceanside. They're training. We've seen several shots from the trailer where we have the survivors training for most likely not only fighting off the walkers in a more efficient manner, but also training for different strategies that they can use when it comes to the conflict with the Whisperers, in case there is a full-fledged war with the Whisperers, which is going to be coming up. Now, also, we do see several other shots of the survivors training at the Oceanside, which we're going to look at. Then we have this absolutely cool shot of the Whisperers, Alpha and Beta at the forefront. I absolutely love this, especially looking at Alpha, the way she is cosplaying as a walker in a way. She's acting like a walker. Not that we haven't seen that before, but just to see that in picture format like this with Alpha and Beta together, absolutely cool. Now, there is a possibility this comes from the current timeline, like it's just the Whisperers chilling in current time, but there's also a chance that this is part of a flashback about the Whisperers based on the new titles and synopsis that were released for Season 10, which I did a separate video on. We do know that we're going to see some sort of flashback about the Whisperers. Most likely some flashbacks showing us the origins of how the Whisperers formed. So there's a chance that this could be coming from that. This pretty cool shot of Daryl and Carol. Not sure who they're looking at or what this is about, but very, very interested to see what they're going to do with Daryl and Carol and their relationship in Season 10. I'm not a shipper of Carol and Daryl, but I'm very, very interested to see what they're going to do for Season 10 when it comes to those two characters. Then we have this shot, which we've also talked about before, but as you can see on the ground, we see a body, a naked body, and the survivors looking at the body. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into what this is because I already did like a separate video exclusively for this photo, but I think there's one of two possibilities. The naked body is the body of a victim of the Heads on Pike scene from last season, and this is just the survivors discovering the body, or it's the body of Brendan, who is the guard at Alexandria. We've seen him in several shots. He's the one looking over Negan. Then we have this shot of Sadiq, this absolutely cool shot of Alpha and some Whispers in the background. Now, it seems like at this point, we have Alpha talking to one of the survivors, because we do see another shot right here, which is Michonne standing with some other survivors, and they're near the border that Alpha and the Whisperers set up. So if you put these two together, it seems like it matches. So it seems like this is Michonne coming up to the border, trying to talk to Alpha. Not sure what that's about, whether there's going to be any type of negotiation, which is unlikely, or, what this is about. But I'm leaning more towards these two pictures being related. Then we have this absolutely cool shot of Erin. He looks freaking badass with that arm or mechanical arm. He's looking more and more like Comic Rick as the time goes, which is pretty cool. I think this is related to a shot that we saw in the trailer where we have Erin beat up a little bit. Now, I think what's most likely going to happen is Erin is going to get into a wrestling match with one of the Whisperers, and it's going to be none other than Negan, who shows up to save him. Then we have this shot of this sort of boat, and this is at the Oceanside, and Jerry and Ezekiel are just trying to clear out the walkers. Now, I don't know if this is part of their training or if they're really trying to clear out the walkers. Of course, this shot is related to that. And then this shot as well, and this shot as well. Now, we do see Rachel and Sydney, both Oceanside members. Then we have this shot of the survivors training at the Oceanside. Then we have this shot, which is also connected. The survivors training at Oceanside. We have Alden. We have Magna. We have Yumiko. We have Connie. We have, I think, Brandon, who is the Alexandria resident that I just talked about. But it could be Gage as well, one of the Hilltop teenagers. So one of the two. Both look very similar, so it's difficult to tell. But we have Diane in the back. We have Daryl right here as well. And of course, we have Michonne right here. Then we have another shot which is related to the ones we kind of looked at before. And then another one here with Jerry and Ezekiel from the same shot that we saw previously. Then this shot, which is also connected. So they're basically letting out these walkers from the boat or whatever that is. I don't know if it's a boat or whatever it is, but it's some sort of building or a boat or whatever. They're letting out the walkers and they're just killing the walkers in a formation. Then we have this shot, which is Alden and the other survivors, part of the same sequence. This shot also of the survivors. And then we have this shot of Daryl again at Oceanside. And then this shot of Alden, Yumiko, and Magna, they're again at the Oceanside. This shot of the survivors again at the Oceanside, they're training. Then we have this shot of Carol and Daryl. They are on Daryl's motorbike and they're just riding around. We've seen a similar shot like this before, but also we've seen a shot of this in the trailer. This shot of Daryl with his motorbike. This shot of Erin and Michonne. Then we have this shot of Magna. Then we have this shot of Alden, Erin, Magna, Luke, Yumiko, and Michonne in the forest. Then we have this shot of Michonne, and then this shot of Michonne and Yumiko. This shot of Luke, and a new character that is going to be introduced. Her name is Jules. We see a similar shot here, and then this shot. So this is a new character, Jules, who's going to be introduced. We saw that name when we were looking at the characters that are going to appear in the first few episodes. So Jules, of course, is this character, and she seems to be a resident of the Oceanside. This shot as well of Jules. This pretty cute shot of RJ and Judith, and they're just playing games or whatever. It's a pretty cool shot of them. This shot of RJ, he's growing up pretty quickly, which is cool. Then we have this shot of Michonne and this shot of Cindy and Daryl. Now, I don't know where they are. We've seen several shots of some sort of a fire in the forest, and this seems to be related to that, but we don't know exactly what happened, who was responsible, or where this is at. But I am leaning more towards this being close to the Oceanside, but I could be completely wrong about that. They're shooting off a couple walkers probably who were attracted to the area from the noise, the smoke, and all of that. This shot of Alden in the same exact area that we saw before, killing walkers. Then we have this shot of Michonne holding her katana with blood on it from obviously killing some walkers, but it's in the same exact area with the burning trees in the background. Then we have this shot of Rosita, a pretty cool shot of Rosita at Alexandria. And we have some information in the back about Coco, who's, of course, Rosita and Siddiq's baby. Now, most likely that's connected to Eugene. Eugene probably kind of put out charts, statistics, and things like that about the baby and things that would track the baby's growth and things like that. Then we have this shot of Rosita doing some training, boxing, things like that. We saw a similar shot in the trailer as well, which is pretty cool. Then we have the shot of Rosita changing baby Coco and Eugene in the background. Not sure what he's holding, but he seems pretty serious about whatever he's talking about. This shot of Father Gabriel on the radio. I think at this point, it's pretty clear that Commonwealth is going to be coming, and they're teasing the Commonwealth with the communication that they have through the radio. We heard parts of that in the last season, at the end of it actually, the very last shot. So it seems like we're going to get more and more of those. But this is most likely connected to the Commonwealth, who are going to be introduced in season 10, most likely near the end. This shot of Rosita, Siddiq, Father Gabriel, and Eugene. This shot of Negan holding a tomato, gardening at Alexandria, a pretty cool shot of him. This shot of Lydia holding something, I don't know what it is, maybe it's a stick. And this shot of her. That's basically it. That's all the photos that were released. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of the photos that were released. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.